Free to be, embracing your true self. Written and published by Daily Calm Audiobooks. Introduction. Every day, most of us move through life wearing invisible masks, responding to expectations, and trying to fit into molds that never quite feel like ours. Beneath it all, a quieter voice longs to be heard, a voice that knows your true desires, your real strengths, and your unique rhythm. This journey invites you to pause, listen, and reconnect with that voice. Through guided reflections and practical exercises, you will uncover the inner barriers that keep you from living authentically, from self-criticism to subtle pressures of comparison. You will gain tools to release judgment, quiet mental clutter, and align your daily actions with who you genuinely are. Living authentically is not about perfection or escape. It is about stepping into life fully, with clarity, confidence, and ease. As you move through these insights and practices, you will learn to shed external expectations and embrace the freedom of being yourself, discovering the profound peace and empowerment that come when you allow your true self to shine. As you listen, you can support more reflective audiobooks like this by tapping the like button and subscribing to the channel. Every small action helps us continue sharing peaceful, meaningful content. Thank you for being part of this journey. Life often pulls us in directions we don't even realize. From childhood, we are taught how to behave, what to value, and who to be. Over time, these lessons become habits, roles, and expectations that can cover up who we truly are. To understand yourself, you must first pause and observe your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. This is not about criticizing yourself, but noticing patterns and uncovering what lies beneath the surface. Our beliefs shape much of who we think we are. Many of these beliefs are inherited from parents, teachers, or society, and they may not reflect your real self. For example, someone might assume they are not good with people because they were shy as a child, even though social skills can be learned and improved. Questioning these assumptions helps separate what you've been told about yourself from what is actually true. Desires are often influenced by outside expectations too. People frequently chase careers, lifestyles, or relationships because others see them as impressive, not because they genuinely bring joy. Research on mindfulness shows that taking time to notice your true feelings and motivations can lead to greater happiness and a clearer sense of purpose. By distinguishing between what you really want and what you've been conditioned to want, you make choices that align with your authentic self. Patterns in behavior can reveal hidden truths as well. Notice how you react to stress, criticism, or opportunities. These reactions can point to your values, strengths, and areas that need attention. Observing them without judgment gives insight into your true tendencies and helps you make conscious changes. Understanding yourself is a journey, not a one-time event. It requires gentle reflection, honesty, and patience. By exploring your beliefs, desires, and behaviors carefully, you begin to peel away external pressures and discover the person you were always meant to be. This self-awareness allows you to live more freely, make decisions that feel right, and create a life that truly reflects who you are at your core. Yet, self-discovery isn't only about looking inward. It also means recognizing how outside forces shape us. Feeling trapped by what others expect of you is more common than most people realize. From family, friends, or society, pressures often sneak into our lives, quietly influencing our choices. Even our own minds can add to this weight, insisting we should act a certain way. While some expectations are helpful, many limit self-expression and cause unnecessary stress. Learning to let go of them is a powerful step toward living a life that truly reflects who you are. A good starting point is noticing where expectations show up in daily life. Pay attention to tasks, decisions, or feelings that don't bring joy but feel necessary. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to or because someone told me I should? Journaling these reflections can make it easier to identify which expectations actually serve your growth and which simply drain your energy. Studies in psychology have shown that people who actively question and adjust expectations experience less anxiety and greater satisfaction in life. Another way to practice letting go is by testing boundaries in small ways. Saying no to minor obligations that don't align with your values is a safe way to begin. These small acts help you learn to distinguish between expectations that support your life and those that limit it. For instance, someone who always felt pressure to follow a specific career path might start dedicating time to a hobby or passion project. Often, these small steps reveal interests and values that have been overlooked for years. Releasing expectations also creates space for choice and joy. Life becomes less about ticking off a list of what should be done and more about making decisions that feel meaningful. Over time, letting go builds freedom, creativity, and confidence in your own path. By shedding expectations that no longer serve you, you give yourself the chance to live intentionally, focusing on what truly matters and discovering possibilities that might have seemed out of reach before. This freedom, however, isn't just about removing external pressures. It's also about learning to be fully present. Life often feels like a constant rush, with our minds jumping from one thought to the next. Worries about the future, regrets from the past, or endless to-do lists. Real freedom comes from noticing these patterns and responding with awareness rather than reacting automatically. Mindfulness is a practical way to do this, teaching us to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting lost in them. Even a few minutes of focused attention can make a difference. Paying attention to your breath, for example, helps train the mind to notice when it starts wandering. Each time you bring your focus back to the present, you strengthen awareness and reduce mental clutter. Research shows that regular mindfulness practice can lower stress and quiet the part of the brain that keeps us stuck in overthinking. This simple act of noticing the present moment can make it easier to think clearly and make decisions without being overwhelmed by fear or anxiety. Mindfulness also helps us understand our emotions better. Imagine someone about to have an important conversation at work. Instead of reacting impulsively to nerves or frustration, they take a moment to notice what they're feeling. Recognizing these emotions gives them the chance to respond thoughtfully, rather than letting stress drive their actions. In personal life, mindfulness allows us to truly listen and engage with others, creating stronger, more meaningful connections. Over time, being present changes how we experience everyday life. Ordinary moments, like eating a meal, walking outside, or listening to music, can feel calmer and more meaningful. By focusing on the now, we develop a sense of inner peace and clarity. This calm awareness doesn't just quiet the mind, it gives us the space to notice our fears, hesitations, and the ways we hold back. Mindfulness becomes more than a practice. It becomes the foundation for living with authenticity, freedom, and intention. When we carry this awareness in a daily life, we see how fear often disguises itself as hesitation, keeping us from showing who we truly are. Choosing authenticity means stepping into discomfort and allowing ourselves to be seen, flaws and all. Vulnerability becomes the bridge from isolation to connection, opening the way to deeper relationships and self-understanding. Admitting uncertainties, whether confessing a mistake at work or sharing a personal struggle with a friend, invites empathy and trust. Research from psychologist Brené Brown shows that embracing vulnerability strengthens bonds and increases life satisfaction, proving that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. Acknowledging imperfections does not mean dwelling on them. It means recognizing that they are part of the human experience. Consider a leader who openly shares their challenges with a team, admitting they don't have all the answers. This act of vulnerability fosters an environment where others feel safe to contribute ideas, take risks, and innovate without fear of judgment. Similarly, on a personal level, opening up to a close friend about feelings of inadequacy can transform a superficial conversation into a meaningful exchange, strengthening bonds that thrive on honesty. Self-compassion is the companion to vulnerability. By treating ourselves with the same kindness we extend to others, we soften the internal critic that often magnifies fears and insecurities. Instead of hiding mistakes, we can view them as opportunities for growth. Practicing small acts of vulnerability, expressing gratitude, asking for help, or admitting when we don't know something, gradually builds confidence and resilience. Over time, what once felt risky becomes liberating. Vulnerability is not a weakness, but a gateway to courage, trust, and genuine self-expression. It allows us to live fully, free from the constraints of perfectionism and pretense. By embracing our fears and imperfections, we create space for authentic connections, both with ourselves and those around us, cultivating a life marked not by avoidance, but by openness, courage, and wholehearted engagement. Yet embracing vulnerability also means facing the voice inside our heads that can either lift us up or hold us back. For many, this inner critic is relentless, pointing out flaws, replaying mistakes, and warning of failure. It may seem helpful at first, but more often, it traps us in fear and self-doubt. Recognizing this voice is the first step in transforming it from a barrier into a guide, allowing vulnerability to truly empower us. Take the example of a young writer who constantly doubts her abilities. Each time she sits down to write, she hears, "You're not talented enough," or "This will never be good enough." These thoughts discourage her from finishing projects and sharing her work. By noticing these patterns, she can start to separate the thought from reality. Asking questions like, "Is this really true?" or "Would I say this to a friend?" allows her to challenge the negative messages and respond with kindness instead of judgment. Studies in psychology show that self-compassion, the act of treating yourself with understanding instead of harsh criticism, leads to better emotional health, more resilience, and improved performance. Transforming the inner critic doesn't mean ignoring mistakes or pretending challenges don't exist. It means changing the way we respond to them, observing critical thoughts without automatically believing them, and replacing harsh words with supportive ones creates an inner space that encourages growth and learning. Practical steps include writing down negative thoughts to see them clearly, speaking to yourself as you would to someone you care about, and pausing to breathe before reacting to self-criticism. Over time, this practice strengthens a supportive inner dialogue that helps you face challenges confidently, take risks, and embrace your true self. Releasing the inner critic allows you to move from fear and limitation towards self-acceptance, creativity, and inner calm. As you quiet your inner critic and nurture a supportive inner dialogue, you open space to notice your intuition, the subtle guidance often drowned out by daily noise. Every day, our minds are filled with messages from social media, opinions from others, deadlines, and endless to-do lists. In the midst of this, paying attention to how your body reacts, the feelings that arise, or the ideas that keep returning can reveal the first signs of intuitive insight. These small signals offer reliable guidance for decisions that align with your true self. Studies show intuition is not just a feeling. It is the brain drawing on past experiences and patterns to help us make decisions quickly. For example, doctors often describe gut feelings about patients before test results confirm anything, and experienced teachers can sense when a student is struggling without being told. In everyday life, we can develop this same skill by observing how our instincts respond to situations, decisions, and people around us. Creating quiet space is key. Taking time for reflection, journaling, or even a short walk without distractions helps the mind settle. During these moments, recurring thoughts, emotions, or sudden ideas can reveal what your intuition is pointing toward. Over time, practicing this awareness builds confidence. You begin to trust your decisions, knowing they come from your inner wisdom rather than external pressure or overthinking. Practical steps include pausing before making choices, noticing gut reactions without immediately dismissing them, and reflecting on past decisions where following your instincts led to positive outcomes. For instance, if you feel drawn to a project or opportunity that excites you, even if it seems risky, paying attention to that feeling can guide you toward work that feels meaningful and authentic. Listening to your intuition doesn't mean ignoring reason. It means combining insight with thought to make decisions that fit your true self. Over time, life begins to feel smoother and more purposeful. You move with clarity, confidence, and a natural sense of flow because you are acting in harmony with your inner guidance. One way this alignment shows up is in the small, everyday choices we make. Every morning presents an opportunity to shape the day with intention, yet few realize how profoundly consistent habits influence overall well-being. Freedom and authenticity are not abstract ideals. They flourish when daily routines are consciously designed to support them. Integrating mindful practices into ordinary moments, pausing to breathe deeply before a meeting, reflecting quietly over breakfast, or taking a brief walk to reconnect with the senses, can transform otherwise rushed or automatic behaviors into anchors of calm and clarity. These practices, while simple, create a rhythm that nurtures resilience against stress and external pressures. Consider the practice of deep breathing. Research published in the Journal of Psychophysiology found that even brief sessions of controlled, slow breathing can reduce cortisol levels and improve cognitive focus. A single, deliberate breath before responding to a challenging email or entering a tense conversation can reset the nervous system, creating a space where thoughtful, authentic action replaces reactive behavior. When repeated daily, these small pauses become invisible yet powerful rituals, quietly strengthening emotional regulation and self-awareness over time. Reflection is another cornerstone of sacred daily habits. Journaling for 10 minutes each evening, listing moments of gratitude, or simply contemplating lessons learned from the day fosters a stronger connection with one's inner values. For instance, a teacher who begins each day by noting one personal intention noticed a marked increase in patience and adaptability in her classroom. By consciously aligning daily actions with core beliefs, individuals reinforce a sense of integrity and authenticity, reducing the friction between who they are and how they operate in the world. Gentle self-care completes the framework. It need not be elaborate. Even small acts like drinking water mindfully, stretching, or enjoying a cup of tea without distraction cultivate attentiveness to the body and mind. Over time, these consistent, nurturing practices form a foundation for a life that is grounded, intentional, and free from the chaos of unexamined habits. Sacred daily habits are not about perfection, but about presence, consistency, and small, deliberate choices that honor the self, fostering clarity, calm, and resilience that radiates into every aspect of life. Just as nurturing ourselves lays a foundation for a grounded life, feeling truly understood starts with the people we spend time with. The company we keep can either lift us up or hold us back. When surrounded by individuals who listen without judgment and offer encouragement, we feel safer showing our true selves. Studies, including one from Harvard's long-term research on adult development, show that people with strong, positive relationships tend to be happier and healthier over time. It's not just about having friends. It's about having relationships that allow honesty, empathy, and respect to thrive. Building these connections begins with noticing how people make you feel. After spending time with someone, ask yourself, do I feel energized and accepted or drained and criticized? These reactions are important clues. Learning to set healthy boundaries is key. It's okay to step back from relationships that constantly bring stress or negativity. Saying no isn't mean. It's a way of protecting your emotional space and making room for people who genuinely support your growth. Meaningful connections grow when we give as much as we receive. Taking time to listen, show appreciation, or check in regularly builds trust and deepens relationships. For example, friends who make it a habit to have weekly calls or meetups often feel closer and more connected. Small actions like this create a sense of belonging and make life's challenges easier to face. At the same time, letting go of toxic influences is essential. Relationships that make you doubt yourself or create constant tension don't belong in a supportive environment. Removing or limiting these influences opens space for healthier, more uplifting relationships to grow. Surrounding yourself with authentic, understanding people creates a network that encourages self-expression, inner peace, and mindful living. These relationships don't just make life more enjoyable. They strengthen your ability to know yourself, grow emotionally, and face the world with confidence. A supportive circle helps you thrive, not just survive, making every interaction a step toward a calmer, more fulfilled life. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and sudden changes can leave even the most prepared people feeling uneasy. It's natural to want to control everything, but trying to force predictability often creates more stress than it solves. Learning to embrace change starts with seeing uncertainty not as a threat, but as a chance to grow. Research shows that people who practice flexibility, adjusting their thinking and finding alternative ways forward, handle stress better and recover more quickly from unexpected events. Accepting that some things are beyond your control is not giving up. It's choosing calm and clarity over struggle. Being flexible means adjusting your plans without guilt or frustration. Imagine someone facing an unexpected move to a new city. The first reaction might be fear or resistance, but approaching the situation with curiosity, exploring new neighborhoods, meeting new people, and discovering opportunities can turn it into an exciting chance to grow. Patience is key here. Accepting that things may take time to settle allows space to think clearly and act intentionally instead of reacting out of stress. Simple daily habits can make navigating uncertainty easier. Journaling about experiences, reflecting on lessons, or practicing mindfulness can help you stay grounded when life feels unpredictable. Over time, these small steps build self-trust, showing that even when circumstances change, you can adapt and handle them. Letting go of rigid expectations also helps you connect more deeply with yourself. When you release the need for absolute control, you can explore your true values, strengths, and passions in ways that rigid routines never allow. Life's uncertainties then become opportunities rather than obstacles, helping you grow stronger, calmer, and more self-aware. This approach doesn't remove difficulties, but it changes how you respond to them. Each unexpected turn becomes a lesson in patience, curiosity, and resilience, showing that flexibility and acceptance are not just tools for survival. They are pathways to living a fuller, more confident life. And living fully means being true to yourself. Life feels lighter when your choices reflect who you really are. Authentic living isn't a destination you reach once. It's a daily practice. Every decision, every action, even small ones, can either bring you closer to your true self or pull you away. Being authentic means noticing these moments and asking whether your actions align with your values, feelings, and inner guidance, rather than following what others expect. Simple daily habits can help you stay on track. Taking a moment to pause before reacting, writing down your thoughts in a journal, or setting boundaries to protect your energy are all ways to practice authenticity. Research in psychology shows that small, repeated habits strengthen your brain's ability to act in ways that feel natural and true. Over time, these consistent actions make it easier to respond honestly and intentionally in all areas of life. Being authentic also means balancing effort with self-compassion. You won't always get it right, and that's okay. For example, you might want to speak up in a meeting, but stay quiet out of fear. Recognizing these moments without harsh judgment allows you to adjust next time and continue growing. Self-compassion makes authenticity sustainable because it keeps you motivated rather than discouraged. Checking in with yourself regularly is another practical step. Even a few minutes each day to reflect on your choices and feelings can help you notice whether your actions match your values. This reflection builds clarity and confidence, so challenges don't pull you off course. Living this way turns ordinary decisions, what work to do, how to spend your time, who to spend it with, into opportunities to honor your true self. Authenticity is a daily practice, not a destination. By listening to your inner voice, choosing in line with your values, and treating yourself with kindness, you create a life that feels free, clear, and deeply satisfying. Each day becomes another chance to live fully and genuinely. This practice unfolds as a lifelong journey, one that grows through curiosity, reflection, and consistent awareness. It asks you to slow down, notice the inner currents of thought and emotion, and approach yourself with gentle acceptance rather than judgment. True inner freedom emerges not from perfection or external approval, but from consciously being present, compassionate, and attentive to your own experience. Each moment offers an opportunity to observe your patterns, recognize your triggers, and respond with understanding, gradually creating the space where your authentic self can thrive naturally, unburdened by doubt or expectation. Progress in this journey is rarely linear, and that is part of its beauty. Every misstep, every moment of uncertainty carries insight and growth. When you honor your efforts, even in small ways, you reinforce the habit of self-compassion and nurture a deeper trust in your own inner wisdom. Embracing imperfections becomes a practice in resilience, allowing you to move forward with confidence, knowing that growth often comes through trial, reflection, and persistence rather than immediate results. Living authentically also requires presence. By fully engaging with your daily experiences, whether mundane or extraordinary, you cultivate clarity and calm. You begin to notice the subtle joys, the quiet strengths, and the inner resources that have always been part of you. This mindful attention strengthens your connection to yourself and the world around you, creating a life guided not by fear or obligation, but by intention and genuine desire. Embracing your true self is an ongoing invitation to live with courage, openness, and self-respect. Each moment is an opportunity to realign with your deepest values and express your uniqueness without apology. By committing to this journey with patience and awareness, you allow your inner calm, clarity, and authenticity to flourish. The path may be gradual, but every step you take is meaningful, and each conscious choice brings you closer to the freedom of being fully, unapologetically yourself. In the end, living authentically is not just a practice. It is a declaration that your true self is worthy of presence, love, and expression in every moment. Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe for more thoughtful content aimed at helping you find focus, nurture your mindset, and embrace the life you want to create.